Thank you for joining us for this breakout session. My name is Patty Wessels. I am a physical therapist and I am the head coach at Rock Steady Boxing, MAPS at Charm City. We've been running our program for 5 years today, and I've brought together a group of boxers from both of my classes. And we're going to have a conversation today about how Rock Steady Boxing has helped these folks to fight back against PD. So my name again is Patty, and I want to go around and just have us introduce ourselves one by one. If you could give me your name, your boxer nickname, how long you've been with our program, and if you're comfortable, how long you've had PD. That might be a good place to start. How about you, Gwen?
Gwen Cookner, mother of 3 and almost 11 grandchildren.
Nice.
We have about a couple months left to go. I'm Grumpy Grandma. I've been in the program almost since it started, within 2 or 3 weeks, because I was diagnosed and quickly found out about a Baltimore area meeting that was going on for new members, and met Arthur. He was the speaker at that meeting, and it gave the foundation, and they were just getting classes. So within 3 weeks, I was in a MAPS classroom.
Nice. Good job, you.
And
How about you? I'm going to scoot on to Alfred. How about you, Alfred?
I am Alfred, and I have been diagnosed. It was February of 21, and I heard about MAPS through a competitor, and they recommended Patty, and I got started in the spring of 21 as a newbie.
Did you get a nickname yet?
Oh yes, I'm Captain Kirk of the Starship Enterprise. I'm looking for Dr. Spock if you've seen him.
I love it. All right, Mark the Shark. Oh, I gave it away.
My name's Mark the Shark. I've had Parkinson's, was told I had 2011. I still did a lot of things that I could do, but then as it went on, it was tougher. So I first joined, like I was one of the original members for down there, because they had another one out on Dungy Road, which I couldn't get to. So I went down, and best thing came about was getting teamed up with Patty and her crew.
Thanks, Mark.
Great.
Thanks, babe. Jerry, how about you?
Hi, my name is Jerry. My boxing nickname is Scary Jerry. I've been doing this about 2.5 years and was first diagnosed in September 2011.
Mm-hmm. John?
Hi, my name is John Patterson. I guess my nickname is Pat. We had another John in the class, and it got very confusing, so we had to change to Pat for a while. I was diagnosed in January of 2012, and I've been boxing since before it was boxing. Patty reminded me that I started boxing before it was officially, it was boxing for health rather than boxing for Parkinson's. So I've been at it for 5 years, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah. All right, Jackpot.
My name is Joyce Turner, and I am, I've been 5 years with MSA, and I've been boxing about 2.5.
Yeah, about 2.5. You're right.
Yeah.
All right, and that leaves you, Chris.
Yeah, my name is Christopher Davis. My nickname is Crush, in honor of the former Baltimore Orioles slugger, Chris Davis, who earned the nickname after a couple of great years hitting home runs. Then he went into a career-ending slump, so I'm keeping the nickname alive. I've been participating in RSB, Rock Steady Boxing, since fall of 19. That started about a year after I was diagnosed in October 2018.
Yeah. I love it. All right, so I'm going to ask a few of you. Do you remember your first class? And if so, what do you think you were thinking as you were either watching that first Rocksteady class as an observer or when you first participated in that very first class? What did you think? And I think I'm going to start with Alfred because he's our newest boxer. So that very first class you watched or you participated in, what went through your mind?
So I I read the materials that you handed out as far as applying and what to expect. There was a drawing of a person with numbers across his or her chest, and I had no idea what that was. Uh, but people were welcoming and instructive, and it seemed not an unusual incident to have guests observe, and that was heartwarming.
Good.
And all in all, it was a good transition. I felt that the coaches identified my low level of learning at that time and gave me a break here and there to sharpen my skills.
Excellent. Chris, you raised your hand. What do you remember thinking?
Well, I remember it was the Coppermine location. It's kind of a rocky like gym, in a basement, cement floors and brick walls, and 5 heavy bags hanging and a couple speed bags, a couple dummies. I just remember the loud music, the energy, and it kind of sucked you in and felt real good with the warm-up exercises were new to me, and doing those big movements intentionally with swinging your arms and taking big steps all felt really good. So to me, it was an exciting first beginning.
Nice. Love it. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and ask Jerry, do you happen to remember your first class?
I do, and I got a little bit of an intro because you were my physical therapist beforehand, so I got a little bit of a prep.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it was exhausting and empowering at the same time, because I think what's great about the boxing program is that you're fighting the disease, and it gives you a way to sort of fight back. And I think that's mentally and physically just a great feeling.
Yeah. I think that the mental and the physical are both equally important in what we try to do too.
Right.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
All right, so next question that I had. You've all been regular attendees since starting, and that's part of the reason why I wanted you to be part of this conversation. And, some of you to come to class every single day it's offered. You even email me if you're going to be taking vacation or something comes up and you're not going to make it. You let me know because you really have made it part of your life every single time. And others of you have had gaps for really good reasons, but then always make their way back and give 100% all over again. My question is, what's your secret to this? How do you always keep showing up and coming back? And I think that I would like to hear from Joyce first. Joyce, what's your secret?
It's not really anything that I have to do. It's that I really am anxious to get back, and that it does so much for my spirit that I want to do. I just can't wait to get back as soon as I can. I feel like it's uh it's a, like a charm for me.
I love it.
And so it keeps me going, you know.
I totally get it. I kind of knew you were going to say something along those lines because we've had that communication before. And yeah, I love that it's an important part of, you feeling good. So brilliant. John P., you raised your hand.
Yeah, it's the most important consistent thing I've got to rely on. I've tried other things. They come and go, and I'm doing yoga and some other people helping me out. But it's been it's been the strong, steady thing that has held on the whole time. So I try to make every class.
Yeah, yeah. And you do a great job of it. You pretty much make every class unless you guys are on a trip. And even then, you log in from like your daughter's basement yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I love it. Mark, can I ask you that question as well? How do you always show up?
Because I look forward to it. You're so energetic. If you're down a little bit, you pick everybody up and we're ready to go. That's what I like about it.
Thank you. All right, you guys bring me life. I hope you know that. All right, so this is going to be a question I hope a lot of you want to answer. What do you like best about our Rock Steady boxing classes? Either an exercise thing, a piece of equipment, a something. What is it that you like best? So Jerry, you're first.
I think the people in the class with you are important part of it. You learn a lot from them. Chris and I have had lunch outside of class, talked about our experiences, and that's really good to do. So I think the camaraderie of the class is good, and if I don't do class and I don't exercise, I can feel it almost immediately in terms of my body just not functioning as well. So there's a direct trade-off. And that's what makes it easy to show up.
I love it. All right. Alfred, what's your favorite thing about class?
Well, besides the people, which I agree are very important, and the level of energy that you and Pilar bring to the table, I think the diverse exercises and um, small
The fine motor stuff.
fine motor stuff, right? As well as the traditional boxing equipment. I think the balance schemes to help you out, to give you confidence, to keep walking even if you're going to fall sideways.
Yeah, I think the balance is really important too.
But the general diversity of exercises, I'd say.
Cool. Hey, Crush, what do you like best?
I think the first thing I think of is the energy and spirit of the place, and that's you and Pilar. When you asked previously about what is the secret for returning day after day, I thought is to thank you, Patty, for doing what you do, because I basically don't want to let you down for doing what you're doing for us. That's a big part of it.
I agree with that.
And the other things, secondary things are the quality. I mean, like just yesterday, I was learning all kinds of new ways to do core exercise I never thought of. I'm just hoping I can remember them when you're not in the room. I can reproduce them again.
Yeah. So I love that answer.
Yeah, the energy and the people.
Hey, Gwen, how about you? What's your favorite?
The people, you and Pilar, meeting friends or meeting participants and becoming friends. The spirit that you have is just amazing. So it's contagious. It keeps us going. And I really suffered during the time we were off because I wasn't doing enough physically, and it really took its toll on me. But I'm coming out of it through therapy and what you're offering there, and I'm just delighted the classes are back.
Me too. I'm so glad to be back in person, you guys. Agreed. John Patterson, you got your hand up.
The people, you and Pilar, are great. I think every day you come with a different program. We never do the same thing twice. There's a pattern, but once you get through the warm up drills, you don't know what you're going to do, and it's great. And I think the fact that we're pushed to the edge on some of the stuff, the core stuff, particularly, is very hard, and you just push us, and if we can't do it, then we don't do it, and you keep pushing, and next time we'll do it better.
Yep. That's all part of the evil plan, isn't it? And you guys notice that your warm up is the same each and every time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's true for both classes. And it's funny because if we were to do those classes side by side, it's pretty much the same warm up, just one's in the chair, one is not. But I have a question, and this is a spontaneous one that I didn't preview for you. How many of you think you know that warm up by heart? How many of you have used it on your own, not in class? That's the whole idea. And that kind of covers basic movement warm up and big strategies and power moves. And look, you guys have internalized that already. So perfect. All right. So I asked you what you like best. Now I want to know, what's the hardest thing I've asked you to do, or Pilar has asked you to do in one of our Rock Steady boxing class? Gwen is up.
Rope.
What's that?
A rope.
The battle rope.
I hate that thing. I can't do it.
We're going to get there.
No.
And that's how she got the name Grumpy Grandma. All right. Who here agrees that battle ropes are the absolute worst? Joyce? Yeah.
Yeah.
Alfred's hands is, yeah, I see it. All right. Chris, what's the worst?
Tricep dips with crab kicks.
Yes. Oh, and we do them for so long when we do them, don't we?
Absolute worst.
Absolute worst. John P.
But love it.
The simplest thing, which is movement. My number one problem is gait freezing and not being able to move. And sure enough, I can move pretty well day to day, but when you have Patty screaming and the music playing, it's really hard to move. Because I have these strategies like, okay, head up, shoulders up, get back, left foot, right foot. You get it all figured out, and that's okay. But when music's blaring, Patty's yelling, it's hard to focus on it, and it's really good for me.
Yeah, can't hear your own self think.
Right.
Yeah. I thought for sure, Gwen, you were going to say your least favorite thing was the loud music. So you surprised me on the battle ropes. Yeah.
Well, they're closed, but the battle rope is worse.
All right. Anybody else have an absolute worst? Jerry?
Squats.
Squats. Oh my gosh. And we do them every day in different ways. Yeah.
The medicine balls maybe coming in second after your last class.
Oh yeah, that was good, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So many choices, right? So many choices. All right. Anybody else have an absolute worst they want to scare the good people with? All right. Cool. So now I'd like to know, what would you like to do more of, or to have more of in your Rock Steady boxing class? Is there something that in the way we program now that you just wish we had more of, did more of, encouraged more of? Anybody have any thoughts on that?
I'd like to see a little more boxing, but I think as we get into our permanent gym, that'll happen anyway.
Yeah, where we are right now, we only have 2 bags hanging, and Pilar and I will work focus mitts every now and again. But you're right. We're right. We used to program at least 4 or 5 stations of boxing when we were in our old space, and now we're down to 2 or 3, and then other equipment to fill in the gaps. So that will happen. Anybody else, John?
Yeah, when we started, I guess we had all the equipment, and we had the 5 bags and the three speed bags and things, and now we don't have that. But I do like getting back to live though. I'd say another day of live would be great.
Yeah.
We only ever had 2 a week, right?
Well, the way that we did it
Like it was
before the
more.
COVID shutdown was I offered morning classes twice, evening classes twice, and then that Friday midday that anybody could show
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
So you did have 5 days a week to choose from.
yeah.
When we go back to our permanent space, which will hopefully be in June, we are going to be reevaluating our schedule, and we'll do at least 7 total classes a week. I am
Right.
thinking about a mixed level class again on Fridays. That's a lot of the floor work, the core and power, the rhythm boxing coming back, because I enjoyed having you guys work on that tempo and rhythm boxing. And that's something we've never been able to do on Zoom since we didn't have music capability. And with only having 2 bags in our current temporary space, I can't have, only 2 people doing it. So that'll come back too.
Okay.
All right. I love it. Okay, so next question. Do you feel like your PD symptoms are better managed as a result of the hard work that you put into your RSB classes? If you think that's true, raise your hand right now so I can see it. So pretty much everybody around the room. All right. How about we go first with Mark?
Let's think what I like best.
No, so how do you think it helps you manage your symptoms?
It helps a lot because I'm moving constantly because I'm in a wheelchair and it makes me able to get more focused.
More focused. Yeah.
Yeah,
We talk a lot about control and
yeah. Don't try to do it as fast as you can. If you do it under control, you can have more stamina.
Exactly. All right. Jerry, how about you?
So it's really been transformational for me. I mean, since I've started, I've lost like over 30 pounds. I've lost like 6 inches off my waist. I'm a lot physically stronger than I was. And it makes a huge difference in terms of being able to manage the symptoms of the Parkinson's. It's just been great. So.
I love it. Chris, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I feel it really helps. No matter how much I don't feel like doing it, an hour later, I'm just so happy I did it, and that's never not been the case. And I think it's kind of an anecdotal thing, not a scientific, but I think like if you could move all the time, you'd probably feel great. Going from still stationary to motion, is hard enough, but I just feel like I'd feel better if I could move all the time, but that's not how it works.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying there. All right, Joyce, do you want to chime in on that?
Well, I feel that because recently, I've had a few episodes of things that brought my general health down. My energy level needs to be kept up. And that's what, in particular, it does for me. If I can get in there and get going, brings my energy level up and I feel stronger. Sometimes I might, for the first day or two, feel extra tired, but then I can tell that it's making me stronger.
I think that's a really good point about the first couple of days. You might feel more tired when you first get started again or when you first get started, but it changes, doesn't it?
Yes, that's the key thing. And
Yeah.
I know that if I can keep that in mind, plus everybody is so positive that you feel that you can do your best and not feel bad if you can't do well one day.
I love it. Good. Thank you. John P.
Thank you.
I had an incident last year where I got a secondary disease called PMR, polymyalgic rheumatica, and it was inflammatory disease that there's no reason for people our age. They say people our age get it, but the doctors were all thinking it was an extension of the Parkinson's because I started falling down more and losing strength and things like that. And it turned out we got behind it and figured out what it was. But I think the core of the boxing got me right through it, and I was able to keep up, and now I'm rebuilding my strength with the boxing.
I agree with you. Yeah, while there was a dip, it was a pretty quick upswing once things got under control again a little bit, right? You came in with a good baseline, and hopefully that baseline is what's going to kind of carry you moving better. I like it. All right. So let's see. Question. How many of you regularly exercise outside of Rock Steady boxing classes? How many of you do other things? Good. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do? Jerry, how about you?
Golf, walk, and yoga.
I love it. John?
I have a program right now. It's half, about 30 minutes of a power program that Patty gave me, and then about 30 minutes of a program that I got from another other guy down the street who's pretty good. And
you're
so
running, aren't you?
Yeah, I started running. I haven't run lately, but yeah, I started running out in the field with my sheep, my one sheep. And I have one sheep left, and so it runs with me.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool. Joyce, you had your hand up.
I walk with my sisters and I swim. I can't really swim like I used to, but I can get in there. Sometimes I can just walk in the water. Other times I can do like a breaststroke. And I really enjoy that too.
Nice. Good. The more the merrier, right?
Right.
Right. How about you, Mark? You do a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, exercise with Ken every Monday out at Merritt. Before the COVID, it was at Brick Bodies, but they moved it to Merritt,
Yeah.
and it's really good. They have a lot of weights in there that I can use just during the time, unless you join something like that. I also do Parsonics, which is a singing group for people with Parkinson's. Even if you don't have a good voice, it's all fun because a lot of us don't have good voice. There's some in there that have beautiful voices, but it's so much fun. We meet every Wednesday. I do that, and I have literature class. That's for Parkinson's. We meet every Tuesday.
I love it. Right. And you bowl part of the year, right? You do other stuff too. You bowl.
Yeah, play the drums.
Yeah, you do a lot of good stuff. All right. I know. Alfred, what else do you do for exercise?
Well, I've been working out with a personal trainer once a week who is working on the core and trying to build me up along with my wife.
I love it. I love it. I like that you guys are working out together.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, are there any boxers in your class that you look up to, you feel like you've really learned from, or that you've become friends outside of class with? I know that Jerry and Chris, you already kind of gave a preview that you two became friends a little bit and hang out a little bit. Yeah, Gwen, go ahead.
Well, Arthur and Mark are my heroes.
Aw.
What each puts into their life and through the exercise, it's just remarkable. They never get up. Arthur is the ever ready bunny, and it's just, when I think I can't do something, I just have to think of Arthur, and if he can do it, I can do it. And you can't leave it any other way. And Mark has totally changed his body. in the summer that when he started the weightlifting, he's walking. He can walk about 10, 12 feet when in class, in Ken's program. And that's just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you, Gwen.
I love it. All right, so hard question now. What have you learned about yourself as a fighter? What have you learned about yourself? Who wants to take this one first? Raise your hand. Go for it, Gwen.
I'm a wimp. I just see people doing all these things and I don't have the strength and all, but I keep going and I keep hoping that the next day's better.
We call that grit. You got that. I love it. Who else wants to take that one? John?
Yeah, I think you come to the conclusion it's the only game in town, almost, and you got to do it. You got to come out and fight for it. Parkinson's, the research is so all over the place, and that you can't count on anything happening anytime soon. And so doing the physical stuff is our way of fighting back, and we got to do it.
I like it. Jerry?
I think we sort of said this before, but it really is empowering. And you're fighting the disease. And I think both mentally and physically, you just feel much better about it. I've had discussions with my motor disorders specialist. The drugs make you feel better, but they don't stop the disease progression. There's a lot of evidence that exercise does, and you can really feel it. Again, it empowers you against the disease and against your illness. So that's great.
Yeah, thank you. Chris?
I echo what other people said. I learned that I don't hit super hard, but I just try to show up every day, and it has gotten better.
Your footwork is amazing. You may not think you hit hard, but your footwork is beautiful.
I like to hit hard.
But I'm not getting in the ring with a real boxer.
Right? All right. So I had one final question as we wrap up. We just have like a minute to go. What is your why? Why do you fight back with Rock Steady Boxing? And some of you sort of answered it in that way with the last question. So one word, one sentence. Jerry, what is your why?
I want to keep going. I just want to become a grandfather. I want to keep going around for a while, and this gets me there. So
Love it. Gwen, what is your why?
It's the only game in town. It's the only thing that I have found that I can keep going back to that keeps working.
Love it. Love it. John, your why?
I want to get old, and I want to be real old. I want to make it to 120. I'm 70 now, and I got to plow through this and make it. So got to work on it.
Nice. Alfred?
I too want to extend my stay here as long as possible, and hope that the medication slows the progress of the disease, at least on the surface.
All right. Chris, what's your why?
My why is the program exists. I'm really thankful for that. Basically, like everyone else has said, also your energy and spirit lift me up every time I go, and that's important. And exercise really does seem to be the most effective point of attack, for this disease.
Thank you. Mark?
It's like fighting back, like everybody's saying. Fighting back is you can only do so much, but when you work hard, the good things are going to come. And they're coming out with new medicine all the time, so that's a positive one side of it, and it makes a difference. Because because I had DBS done. Before I had that done, I was so bad I couldn't even write my name, couldn't cut my food. It was very frustrating. But then I got DBS, and I got in your program, and it's changed my life forever.
I'm glad. All right, Joyce, what is your why?
My why is because I want to keep strong enough to fight the progression, because I need to feel like I can do things in order to make your life worthwhile. And that's what it does for me.
I love
Keeps
it.
me
Keep fighting the good
engaged.
fight.
Right.
Yeah. Keeps fighting the good fight. Gwen?
Well,
What
and
is
it's
your why?
husband goes, so I have to go along and check.
Oh man, I love you guys, each and every one of you. I hope that you know that this program means so much to me because all of you mean so much to me. And I'm so glad you show up and let me kick your butt and yell at you. And I just feel so lucky.
You do enjoy it a
To,
little too much.
that might be true. Yeah. All right. Thank you for doing this with us. And yeah, I really appreciate all of your time, all of your effort, all of your input, and all of those punches and squats and push-ups and lunges and battle ropes. All of it's good. All right. We're going to sign off now. Thanks for joining us today.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Patty.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Come on.
everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you,
guys.
Patty.
You're welcome. All right, so I know a couple of the boxers who were in the video with me are on. So if you guys want to flip on your cameras, if you're in a position to, and on mic, I think we have a couple of questions. All right, so I know I saw one at the very top from Thomas. Could some of the boxers discuss the benefits of Rocksteady? What specific changes have you experienced? So Thomas here is looking for a specific in terms of benefits of the program. Who wants to take that?
And I think one of the things is a balance. You know, there's definitely a number of things to focus on balance, and your risk of falling is significantly higher when you have Parkinson's, and your ability to focus better because of the body.
Yeah, we work hard in the in-person classes. I'm really glad to be able to use a lot of the balance equipment that we're able to bring in. Things like balance foams and hurdles and different surface textures to negotiate, walk around, walk over. And that's really important stuff. One of the other things that we haven't done yet, but as soon as we're back in our new permanent space, we will start doing about once a month, is practicing falling, getting out the big cushy mats and practicing how to tuck and roll, practicing how to protect our wrists and our heads when we do take a tumble. So balance work is indeed really important. All
I would
right.
also say that there's an immediate benefit because you don't literally feel as good when you start, and then you feel better when you stop. It's hard to describe, but if you look at, bradykinesia, like the stiffness and the slowness, the discomfort in your body, it's just less at the end. That's one benefit.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. And I really love that our power moves are sort of rolled into every warm up. So even if you're not feeling great and you just decide to like tune in and at least do the warm up sequence, you're already getting a lot of those big amplitude motions that are sort of like stretch, sort of starting. And then for my folks in the Orange Gang, you know that once a week we spend about a half hour of one class on the floor doing power moves and Pilates and sort of stretching and core work. which I also think when you're dealing with bradykinesia and you're dealing with rigidity, that extra time in quadruped and working on those big stretches is super helpful to help you manage some of those discomforts. So good. All right. I'm looking for other questions. Where are we? So right now we are on Zoom twice per week. You can find information via the MAPS website. If you go under the MAPS, Maryland Association for Parkinson's Support website, they have a list of all the programs that they subsidize and support. We are on that list. There's more than one Rock Steady Boxing that MAPS subsidizes. So please take a look. There might be one closer to you if I'm not. Our program runs in the north part of Baltimore, right on the county line. And yes, please, marylandparkinsonsupport.org will give you a list of all the classes that MAPS supports. We are Rock Steady Boxing MAPS at Charm City. Right now we're running out of the Merit Club twice a week, the Merit Club off of Cranbrook Road. And then we'll be moving back to the Coppermine Fieldhouse, which is like Falls Road and Old Pimlico, hopefully this June. Yeah. Any other questions? All right, it's 5:31, and that's the end of the session. I want to thank all of my boxers who were able to participate in this panel discussion. I really am so glad that we did this, and I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Patty.
This completes our current session. This meeting will end in 1 minute. Please proceed to meyerberg.org/LWP and click Join Session of the next session. Thank you.